Donald Trump's criminal trial is on a break today to allow the former president to attend his son Barron's high school graduation. Testimony will resume Monday, with his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, returning to the stand for more cross-examination. Yesterday, he faced hours of intense questioning, with defense attorneys accusing him of lying. Afterwards, Trump said the trial is a scam and a political persecution. For more analysis, let's bring in CBS News legal contributor Rebecca Roiphe. So a lot of people, by and large, think that Michael Cohen's direct examination with the prosecution as a witness was strong. What's your take on cross so far?
I think the cross started out as disjointed and ineffective, and then I think the lawyer kind of got his speed a little bit later on. He managed to make some points cumulatively suggesting that Michael Cohen has lied repeatedly, especially on the stand, and also that he had a motive. He really wanted to have some position in the White House. He didn't get it. He was spurned. He was upset. He's now exacting revenge. That said, I don't think any of this is fatal, in part because the prosecution did such a good job of corroborating most of what Michael Cohen said.
So, establishing that he was vengeful, and he's, said it over and over again, how he wanted to take him down, and that his feelings were hurt, all that stuff does not actually go to the core argument here, which is that Donald Trump knew about this hush money payment and that it was a scheme. It was a deliberate cover-up. Under cross-examination, did they go after that point?
They went after that point insofar as Michael Cohen is the one witness who gives direct testimony as to the former president's involvement in this scheme and his motive in this scheme. There is lots of other evidence, circumstantial, indirect, that is very, very strong. But, this is a final link. And so I think that the defense did, made some progress on unraveling that link. But when the jury goes to deliberate, they tend not to remember any one moment. What they do is take a step back and look at everything altogether. So for that reason, I don't think anything that the defense did was fatal to the prosecution's case.
Of course, the former president saying none of it happened. So his defense lawyers are just trying to prove that Cohen's just lying about all of it. But real quick before we go, so we're going to see more cross on Monday. The judge has told the court, be ready potentially for closing arguments Tuesday. What kind of defense do you expect Trump's attorneys will mount?
I think they're going to do partially just what they did in their opening statement, which is to say, none of this is wrong. Everything is legal.
But who do you think they'll call?
I think they're going to call this expert from the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, who is going to maybe make some arguments about the federal election law. I don't think that's so important to the defense to the prosecution, because the prosecution is really building this case around the state election law. So I'm not, I think that that's going to be the positive defense, and then they're going to rely on the holes that they have poked in the prosecution's case.
So you don't think they'll call Trump?
I mean, it would be crazy. It could happen, but I don't think so.
All right. Rebecca, always great having you. Thank you.
Thank you.